5 months. We kicked off the debate season right in this room. I think it was this room. Anyway, it looks pretty familiar. Was it another room? Anyways, with TREB. And it's been a long, hard drive to the finish line since then. There's only 3 of us remaining. Well, 3 contenders, and the other ones are still on the ballot. But it really comes down to 4 days, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 4 days left. We're building a coalition of voters. Coalition of voters that cross all party lines. It includes older voters and younger voters. It includes people from all walks of life, from every part of our great city. For so many people, this election comes down to one main issue: respect for taxpayers. For 10 years, I've been listening. For 10 years, I've been working hard to answer every phone call and every email, personally. For 10 years, I've been serving you, the taxpayer. Everyone knows my record as a councillor in Etobicoke North. If I have the privilege to serve you as mayor, I will bring that same work ethic that I've demonstrated as a councillor to the mayor's office. As your mayor, I will set the standard for customer service, and I will assure you the city's 50,000 employees will follow. Your calls will be answered. Your emails will get a response within 48 hours. You and I know that the city has a number of issues facing it today. But all these issues boil down to one thing: there is no respect for the taxpayer. Many people are upset about the enormous waste of hundreds of millions of dollars, while their taxes go up, up, and up. And at the end of the day, the taxpayer is the customer. The taxpayer pays the bills. The taxpayer is the boss. We will make respect for taxpayers a core value at City Hall. You all know the first part of my plan. I will reduce council from 44 to 22 and save the taxpayers approximately $15 million. For the simple reason that in Toronto, federally we have 22 MPs. Provincially, we have 22 MPPs. At the school board level, we have 22 public school board trustees. And we have 12 Catholic trustees. Why do we need all this duplication and waste in City Hall? We do not need 22 extra councillors. 22 will do. Now with the implementation of the 311 system, it's all the more reason why we don't need all that duplication and waste. I'll use these savings to hire 100 more police officers. Police officers that I work with every day. As you know, I'm the head coach of the Don Bosco Eagles, and today at 1 o'clock is our semi-final football game. We're playing Martin Grove, and my defensive coordinator is a police officer. Is the officer that works in the school. The kids have the utmost respect for this police officer. And if we can implement that in all the schools, I think it will improve the relationship between the teenagers and the police, and it will keep our schools safe. Within 2 years, hopefully I'll do it in the first year, but I'll guarantee by the second year, I'm going to abolish the land transfer tax. This tax hurts young people, it hurts seniors, it hurts you, your clients. It is simply not fair. It brings in approximately $200 million in revenue. When you look at where that $200 million was spent last year, ladies and gentlemen, the largest purchase in Toronto's history was for subway cars, for $750 million. Well, you would think you'd go out and get a competitive bid. We did not. The Vice President Siemens came in my office and said, "Rob, here are the specs. We can do it for $550 million. Ladies and gentlemen, you know there's many suppliers of subway cars in the world. But we should not have sole sourced it. It costs taxpayers an extra $200 $200 million, equivalent to the land transfer tax. So if that's how we're going to spend the land transfer tax, obviously it's not needed. I will abolish the $6 car registration tax. At my first council meeting, I'm going to ask staff to bring a report, and if it's not ready by the first council meeting, it'll be ready by the second council meeting. I want to make DTC an essential service and avoid any further transit strikes. I will get competitive bids for garbage services and save the taxpayers approximately $30 to $50 million per year, like we do in Etobicoke. In Etobicoke, we have not experienced a garbage strike. Since Doug Holliday was mayor in 1994, he said, we're going to contract out garbage. And what did everybody tell him? It won't be done. It can't be done. The unions won't let it be done. I'm hearing the exact same thing. Well, it's not anti-union or pro-union. The Teamsters Union won the contract, ladies and gentlemen. And I've had the privilege of being endorsed 2 days ago by the former mayor of Etobicoke, Doug Holliday. The second part of my plan is I'll reduce the allowances paid to politicians. I'll reduce the mayor's office budget by $500,000. That's 20%. Bill Lassman used to run his office under $2 million. If he could do it, I guarantee I will do it. We do not need that extra $500,000. I do not need an office budget of $2.5 million. I will reduce council's so-called office budgets, which I call tax-free expense accounts, from $50,000 to $30,000. And I will set spending limits and guidelines for what is appropriate use of those funds. I will assure you that the $12,000 goodbye parties that a council recently had on your dime will not be allowed anymore. I will publish all city spending online. It's your money, and you have the right to know where the government spends it. That includes all city purchases, including those made on 1,254 MasterCards. I'm not quite sure if you know the story about the 1,254 employees that have MasterCards. I'm sure you don't know the story because 45 councillors, 44 councillors plus the mayor never knew the story until a report came to the audit committee saying that there's 1,254 credit cards, it's costing the taxpayers $9 million a year, and we want to approve it. Well, the first thing I said, Mr. Auditor, who has the cards? That's confidential information. So how's that confidential information? It's taxpayers' money. You should be able to tell us who has the cards. I said, if you can't tell us who has the cards, what are they spending it on? Well, that's confidential information also. Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely ludicrous. $9 million. We're spending, we have 1,254 MasterCards floating around down at City Hall. We don't know who has them or what they're being used for, but we know one thing, it's costing you, the taxpayers, $9 million. I will guarantee we're going to find out who has them and what they're spending them on once I get elected as mayor. I will ensure that all city purchasing is open, transparent, and competitive. Too many contracts are negotiated in the back rooms of City Hall, called in-camera meetings, meaning there are no cameras and the public does not know what's going on. This leaves many businesses unable to compete for city contracts, and it means that you, the taxpayer, don't know if you're getting good value for your money. As mayor, I will ensure all purchasing opportunities will be published. All major purchases will be done by a competitive bid. I'll also enact a new bylaw to protect whistleblowers. I'm the only candidate that will ensure all votes are recorded. No more hiding, no more ducking the vote, and as we would say in politics, no more taking a powder. Every vote will be recorded. I'm the only candidate that is serious about tackling our $3 billion debt third part of my platform is a plan to reduce the size and cost of government. The two key planks of this plan will save approximately $2.8 billion over 4 years. First, I'll reduce the size of government. The City of Toronto and its various agency boards and commissions employ approximately 50,000 people. Despite the so-called hiring freezes, this number continues to grow. We will reduce the number of employees through managed attrition. Current attrition rates average approximately 6% each year. The city will target an annual staff reduction equal to half of the attrition rate. This will reduce the size of government by approximately 3% each year for the next 4 years. This approach will allow the city to continue targeted hiring to fill key jobs, while reducing the overall number of city employees. This will save approximately $1.1 billion over 4 years. I will reduce the cost of government. In 2000, Toronto's combined operating capital budget was approximately $6.9 billion. In 2010, it will be $11.6 billion. Much of this growth is simply wasteful spending that comes from poor purchasing practices and ineffective management. The city will target a very modest and achievable reduction in its operating budget of 2.5% in the first year, 2% in the second year, 1.5% in the third year, and a zero reduction in the fourth year. This will save approximately $1.7 billion over 4 years. These are very, very modest reductions. People have come up to me and said 2.5%. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, there is so much waste down there. We have such a bloated budget, it will save the taxpayers a lot of money, and it's very, very achievable. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to stop the gravy train that feeds an industry of lobbyists, consultants, and insiders from bloated departmental budgets. It's time to refocus city government on doing its job.